We are always looking for guidance. We look for guidance. We want to know what to do, how to do, what's the best way, what's the best path. If we're not making a mistake, we hesitate so many times. We hesitate because we don't know exactly what to do, when to do, how to go, where to go. It's so common. We don't know things that we do for the first time, mainly, we don't know. So we ask for guidance. We ask God to help us. Just my glasses because it's giving a kind of a reflex over there. So we ask for guidance. We ask for God to give us direction. But we have a big problem when we ask for help. First of all, how to identify the answer is coming from God? How to identify the voice, the God's voice? How? Because our head is so full. Our head is always so full of thoughts. The scientists say that we have over 60,000 thoughts per day. 60,000. They even say, some say that it's 90,000 thoughts per day. And mainly the same that you've been repeating for many time, many days, many months. And you will keep repeating those thoughts. It's like a little machine that has a script running non-stop. And unfortunately, most of those thoughts are always discouraging us, putting us down, reminding us our mistakes and all the things that go wrong in our life. It happens to all of us. This little machine comes in our head as we have a heart and liver and kidneys, and we have this little machine with this script running, nonsense script running all the time. So how we can listen to, how we can identify which voice is God's voice? Because if I have a critical voice all the time in my head, it will be saying, don't do that, don't go there, don't grow, don't get off your comfort zone, keep doing all the same old. And if I get confused, this is God's voice, I will never evolve. I will never get out of where I am to really go towards, to accomplish what I came to earth to do. So God's voice come in a very calm way, and we need to quiet a little bit all those voices, this chatting in our head, the monkey mind, as they say, that keep talking. So the silence is very important, to have moments, 1 minute or so, many times a day, where you are silent. Not that silence that you don't have nobody to talk. No, that it's an intentional silence. You quiet yourself, you look for a place that nobody will disturb you. All the devices, electronic devices, are off. You put a little alarm so you don't need to be looking at your watch, and you save a minute to be quiet. The voices, the thoughts will be running like crazy, but that's okay. First, acknowledge your thoughts. Yeah, there are thoughts here, and I have no power, no power over them. I can't control that. It's very innocent to believe that you can control your thoughts. You can't. But you can acknowledge that there are thoughts in my head that I have no power over them. This is the very first step for you to identify there are these thoughts, and I know these thoughts are not God's voice. Those thoughts are no way God's voice. So you start having the discernment that, this is not things for me to follow. Those are just my survival talk in my head. As much as I decrease this volume, better. The least I pay attention and focus on this chattering in my head, better for me, better for you. And then when you have the habit, like when the first time you tied your shoes were so hard, and then now you do it to drive, to do so many things you learned how to do. It was so hard to do, to learn. But to decrease the volume of your thoughts, it's something that needs a little practice. I promise you, doesn't even need too much. In 5, 6 weeks, you'll be so good in that. So you just quiet you quiet a little bit your system, your heartbeat and everything. Just stay calm and quiet. Acknowledge the thoughts. Yeah. And breathe and start just getting the volume down and down and down, lower and lower. And be in this state of calmness many times a day. And yes, you can make questions, you can ask questions before you go to this state of calmness. You ask your question. When you go to sleep, you calm your mind and you ask your question. That's, I heard once that when we pray, we ask the questions. And when we are quiet, the intuition, that voice inside, the voice of the heart, or some people say the call, you feel the pulse to do something. You feel that pulse, something really strong inside of you pulls you to do something. That's the answer, the God's answer to you. What to do, where to go, and the when. So it's in the Bible that people sometimes want to please God or please Jesus in the time that Jesus passed here on earth. And, uh, and it's very important that instead of being like, I know people that go to church and they never leave the church, and there are all sorts of people, right? But they gossip about the dresses of people, they gossip about the marriage of other people. So to be religious is not the only way. We can be spiritual without being religious. You don't need to embrace any religion to be closer to God. But to be at peace is what counts, peace with yourself and peace with others. So it's in the Bible that people are bringing offers to Jesus, right? Offers and offers, giving Jesus. They want to please Jesus. And sometimes we want to please and we go to church and we do charity. We want to bargain. We want to do kind of a sort of a bargain with God. Oh, I'm doing this because I want that. Oh, I'll pray 20 Holy Marys because I want that. Oh, I'll pray to get that. It's a bargain. It's not exactly the way things go. It's just be with your pure heart and be in harmony. And this way, you just focus in what God wants for you. Open your heart and be at service and be surrender to God's desire and God's demands for your life. But in order to have this intimacy with God, in order to have this closeness to God, one of the things that Jesus came and taught us was to just reconcile with our brothers and sisters. And that's what he said when people were bringing the offers. He said, well, put the offers here at the altar and go to reconcile with your brothers and sisters first. So we are starting the year, and my question for you is, do you have anybody that you still carry some stiff relationship or friction. Maybe you did something, or maybe the other person did, but are you making your steps towards making this easier? Are you doing your part to make it easier? Maybe you need to ask for forgiveness. Maybe you need to forgive. Maybe you need to make the first step to go towards the person, to be closer, to say, "Hey, I'm here, right? You are important for me. I want you back in my life, and I would love to for us to be well and to be good." So, if you have any of these situations in your life, make it easier to reconcile. Because if you want your life to prosper and you find the happiness, joy, fun, it's important that you are at peace with yourself and make peace with the most number of people you can. So think about this. You want to, whatever you want to listen God's voice guiding you, being the leader of your life, being your main coach. Just experience this peace and calmness. Don't rush. You don't need to put yourself under pressure. Just start. And as you start developing these practices, you will start noticing that you have intuition. I was talking to a client the other day. By the way, my name is Katia Ferreira. I'm a coach here in California. And I'm Brazilian, and I've been living here for 20 years. And the thing is, we uh, uh, sometimes we don't believe the power we have. And look, God said that He created us like Him. So we have the power of co creation, but we don't want that responsibility. We prefer to blame others, right, for things that go wrong. We don't want to take the responsibility for things that go wrong, things that go well. We don't want that. So we don't take it in, all the power that was given to us to create the life we want to live. So this client of mine was telling me the other day um, that she was in her backyard, resting, sitting, and watching the birds, and she had something that came to her head as an answer to a question that she was having for a while. In another opportunity, she woke up with something in her head that she was really in doubt what to do, and that she had the answer. And this same client this week came to me and said, "Katia, I am so happy for no reason. I woke up, I have a sense of a happiness so big inside of me." She has been doing a work with me for 6, 7 months now. We have a membership of women that are healing from within. So she's part of this group. And she was telling me, "I'm putting all these things together. I've been doing the exercises and the practices, and I'm so happy." So, as a sudden, this woman has been with a high intuition. She has been organizing her life in a way of setting goals and really challenging herself to get off the comfort zone. And she's experienced this happiness that she never had in her life. So there are ways that you can reconcile with yourself first. If you are too judgmental, if you're too critical on yourself, if you're too tough on yourself, that's time for you to look into the mirror and say, "I'm okay with all my defects and faults. I know I can do better, and I am getting better. I'm bettering everything." And I also will look at my brothers and sisters in a way that everybody makes mistakes. They made mistakes too. I did too. So I'll go easy on myself, forgiving, accepting, being in harmony. And I will also go and be well with my brothers and sisters, accepting better and looking around and knowing that we all are imperfect. We have the perfection of God, like the birds, like the flowers. We have this amazing body that's so perfect in the way it works, but we all have our human imperfections. The way we are, we think, the life we had, the influence we had on about people, and the impact some people had in our lives and our childhood. It's so complex. So it's impossible to be perfect. But understanding that we are in this process, right? We are under construction, and we put one little brick at a time each day. It will be easier and easier to listen to this call, the voice of God, the inner self, the inner power, or you can say Jesus inside of you. Whatever you call doesn't matter. The important is you have divine guidance coming to you, guiding you, showing you the way to go, the path to follow. And you will never feel alone because you know there is always, if you quiet yourself and you stay at ease, you will be always with some guidance at your side, holding your hand and showing the way. I wish you an amazing day. I will leave you with these thoughts, and go, go and give a couple of phone calls, just or send email or a text for people that you know there was a friction or something in the past that you sometimes you don't even know exactly why. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So just give your first step. Be you the one to wanna please God, to wanna go and reconcile with your brother and sisters, and then you go and thank God for the life you have, for all the things you do and you are. And I want to leave you with a big kiss, a very warm hug, and I am absolutely sure that you will be able to do that. Maybe sometimes it's a little bit effort. Some people sometimes hurt us, but do your best to be at peace. And you see, your life will be transformed just because you gave the first step. I promise you.